Hey, what's up, everybody? Chief here. Hopefully everything is good with this stream. If you guys can hear me, let me know in chat. I've been having quite a few issues between YouTube and OBS recently, so hopefully things are smoothed out for this stream. What's up, Tejas, Rozignol, SSH5GHR, Turbo Knight, Green Sniper, Ed, Riz, Bone. Alright, loud and clear. Good to know. Alright, so let's go ahead and get this switched over here. There we go. Alright, so hopefully everybody has had a pretty good week. Been looking forward to this stream most of the week anyway. The topics for today's podcast is, well, the new robots that are on test server right now. We've got a new operation. The Christmas event has started, and of course a lot of this was brought to us by the dev stream, and I went back through and rewatched the dev stream a couple of times, took quite a few notes because they dropped quite a bit of info on there, so it's all stuff that I'd like to talk about and find out what all of your thoughts are on it. So as always with the podcast, the more you guys participate, the better. I do know that right now I think Adrian is still in the middle of his Sunday stream. I don't know if he's permanently going to be changing the time for it, but he used to be done by the time I got around to the podcast, but looks like he had a 5 p.m. Eastern time start tonight, so there might be some more people straggling in here and there. But anyway, yeah, so lots to talk about on this one, and I do have Islander here with me, so I'm not going to spend too much time with an introduction. I think most of you that are here on the stream are familiar with how the podcast works, and I definitely thank you all for your support in participating in the podcast. Before I get started, though, just a real quick shout out. I want to give a quick shout out to a new channel supporter through my Patreon, and that is Ruguru. Thank you very much for continuing to support the channel. Not sure if he is here on the stream right now or not, but anyway, thank you very much. So let me go ahead and bring Islander into it, and we will get things rolling. Hey, what's up, Eddie?
What's going on, bud? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How you been?
Good. Lots of stuff going on, brother. Lots of stuff.
Yeah, it's a busy week between all the stuff with Titans and everybody getting used to it, and then the Christmas event dropping, the dev stream. They dropped a couple of bombs there on the dev stream. They really nobody was expecting the operation to start that day, but they dropped the operation that day, so we've got that to talk about. Man, just a ton of stuff.
Yeah, I got my notes. I'm pretty sure you got your notes set up. So
yeah.
Let's jump into this, man. It's gonna be a good day.
So what's up, AD Gaming? Thanks for dropping by, man. You have a good night. It's very late out there where you are. So yeah, well, I don't know what do you want to get started with first? Maybe just kind of go over the dev stream, because I think they covered pretty much most of the different topics that we have with the dev stream.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. We could jump into the operations. I think that's a good place to start. It's a pretty decent operation, very similar to the one we just had. A little bit better as far as take. All right, it's nowhere close to Gathering Storm, but it's still a pretty decent one. But getting that special leech at the end, I think puts it over the top. I'm glad they didn't stick a different bond there. I'm glad it's not a Fenrir or any other an Ares or some type of special bot like that. I'm glad they brought in a current meta bot. So that's a good prize, and people were interested. The only thing that did really get me this whole operations. Although it is good as far as total rewards for the amount of money paid, was the fact that there was no platinum in it. All right, and I really expected to see some type of platinum there. I'm not sure what you think, but that's kind of my take on it.
Right. Yeah, I definitely was expecting some kind of platinum. Let me trying to get this photo to load up, and it looks like crap. Man, it was working just fine earlier. But want to make sure the viewers can see it. Let me just I'll just go full screen here. There we go. This is the comparison. I did not make this graph, by the way. This was actually made by. Actually, honestly, I don't even know who made it. But anyway, whoever made it, they did a good job with it. So I'm borrowing it. It was actually posted in my Discord by somebody else. Yeah, so you mentioned that the new operation, it's very similar to Raging Typhoon. I agree, it is almost identical, which to me, I honestly kind of take issue with, other than the fact that it doesn't have platinum. Because I think most of us were expecting to at least get a little bit of platinum. Yeah, nothing. There's no platinum whatsoever. I mean, they did bump up the silver by what, like 4 million over the.
Yeah, it's slightly over. It's
other.
not enough to make any kind of significant change, but it is a little bit, a tad bit better than Raging Typhoon.
Right. But and the gold is actually exactly the same as Raging Typhoon, but one thing they did change is they kind of moved a little bit of gold away from the free side and dropped it there on the paid side. So I'm not real excited to see that, especially because I know there's a lot of free players and a lot of people that can't afford the paid battle pass, but to me, I kind of felt like they were kind of going in the wrong direction. They gave, I think 50 more power cells in total. Yeah, like 50 more power cells in total, which is like nothing. I mean, so yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of torn. It is still, though, I will say that it is still the best bang for the buck with the game. If you are gonna drop $15, that's gonna get you the most out of anything else you could buy for the game. And the final prize too. How do you feel about another leech?
I will have to pull one out of my hanger. All right, maybe set up a second hanger. I don't know. There's no way I'm going to run 4 leeches in a hanger. That's something I just found on. In top competitive play, we like to run a minimum of 3 if you're going up against a full squad. If not, we do try to set up our second hangers. I'm just kind of short on weapons right now. But I like the fact that is that particular leech, because there's a lot of players out there that don't have the leech yet. I mean, there's a lot of people out there, so this will be their very first one. And it's going to be a lot easier to get it now with the operations. And all you have to do is play the game and play. Well, you got to play a lot of the game, but it's a reachable goal. So for those players that don't have it and get the opportunity to pick it up, more power to them. So I'm glad it's that prize and not some other, specialty griffin or specialty rhino or something like that.
Well, that's true, I suppose. But I don't know. I mean, since it's the big reward for the paid pass, I think most people that are willing to, or that traditionally buy the paid pass, they probably already have a leech. The majority of them, I would say probably not every single one of them. But I mean, if you're a pocket change player or you're a pay to win player, chances are you have at least one leech by now.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's just tons of leeches already. I mean, I've already got a couple of them. I mean, I don't even use the ones that I have. So, but I think the biggest thing with this leech is it's a special edition robot, but it really only looks like a paint job on it. It
really does. Yeah, so, there's nothing that sticks out about it.
But
it's just a permanent paint job, I guess you could say. And with these specialty bots that we get at these events, it'd be neat to have them have some type of minute advantage. Maybe 1 second longer on their deal, or I don't know, glowing. I don't know, something different about it other than the paint job that's on. I know that we have that in other games where if you get something that's a specialty, it's it's a little bit a slight advantage, but it's not enough to change the outcome of a battle.
Right. Real quick, Green Sniper, he says Operations Pass felt like it was in the middle of the other ones, but he still bought it. And he said, "What's up, Eddie and Chief?" So thank you for the donation there, and yeah, I mean, it did kind of initially feel to me too like it was kind of in the middle, kind of. I mean, not really where I wanted to see it go, but I did notice initially that there was a little bit more silver, but then once I actually saw them all next to each other, I started to get a little bit more disappointed. But yeah, like I said, it's still the biggest bang for the buck as far as the game goes. One thing that they did change too with it is they added a fourth weapon, so you're actually going to be able to get 4 weapons now in this operation. The last one was, I guess there was 4 because you got 2 igniters, but so at least they're keeping it at the 4 weapons, I guess. But I don't know, the leech.
How many of the cryo weapons are in there?
There's looks like oh wait, no, yeah, so there are 2 cryos, and then but it's not the special edition cryos, it's the regular cryos.
Right.
And then the for components, you also are going to get a rhyme, so I guess there are 3 total of the cryo weapons.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, so all in all, with the cryo weapons and the amount of silver, amount of gold, amount of keys, the bot, the leech bot, for $15, yeah, it's hard to complain about it, but we will find something to complain about, no doubt. My only complaint would be that they did not add any type of platinum, which is what I was really expecting. Not only hoping, but I was expecting to see that platinum in there. And the fact that we can only get that platinum from the daily task, and it's a minute amount of platinum that we pick up. We're just gonna have to wait and see what they do. There's not much more we can do other than wait. But they really got to come across with some other way to obtain platinum. Platinum is gonna be kind of like gold in the game. Yeah, you can acquire it through the game, and you can grind for it and save it up. But you're not going to get anywhere close to the amount of gold or platinum that you're going to need simply by grinding,
Right. Yeah, and we'll talk more about platinum once we kind of break down their dev stream. But yeah, I agree. It's definitely going to be the new gold, but maybe even more rare than gold. You want to get it, you're going to have to grind, but that's very limited. As you guys know, you get maximum of 25 per day platinum from grinding, but yeah, you're gonna have to fork over your wallet if you want the platinum, at least right now. So, but I do agree, at some point they are going to have to find other ways to get it into the game, otherwise nobody's going to be really using the Titans.
Yeah, I mean, mine's still sitting at completely level 1. They should implement some type of payout system with the gold and the keys and the silver that we get in a match. Platinum is now one of the main currencies of this game. It's going to be required to upgrade your Titan. So it should be implemented in the payout system the same way gold and silver is.
Right. Criminal had a kind of an off-topic question, but he was asking, do healer bots gain points even if the robots are already at 100% health? And the answer there is no. You actually have to heal some kind of damage in order to qualify for the durability repaired honor points. Yeah, sorry, Green Sniper, I did see your donation. I'm a little slow reading because I've got like a bunch of things going on here on my computer, but trying to try to remember to get to everybody's questions and comments. All right, so I don't know. Do you give the operations a thumbs up, or I mean,
Yeah,
overall?
I'm giving it a thumbs up. Uh, Not gonna give it two thumbs up. I'll give it one, but it's gonna get a thumbs up for me. Overall, it's slightly better. It's slightly better than what we had before. I wanted to see it somewhere in between Gathering Storm and Raging Typhoon, but I think they just gave it a fraction of a bit more. But the overall prices, yeah, I like them. I'm down with them. Once again, it would have got the two thumbs up if it would have got the platinum in there, and it didn't. So yeah, I mean, I'm happy with it, and I bought it only because the amount of value that you get in it. So yeah, it gets a thumbs up for me.
All right. I don't know. I'm just so torn because I mean we gave lots and lots of feedback to them after the last operation, and it seems like they're just kind of digging their heels in and holding steady, and they're saying, okay, well, this is what you're gonna get. So I don't know if I can give it a full thumbs up, to be honest with you. But maybe I'm just being a little bit more critical. But like I said, it's still the best deal for getting resources if you're paying cash for it. And everything with the free line is, I mean, it's free, 100% free. So even if you're not getting much, it's still more than nothing. So I guess there is that.
All right. We got a question here. I can't read the first one. Something Night, the Lupa Night, Troop Night. I can't read it. I don't know. What do you think about the new Pursuer pilot? I like it. I do like the new Pursuer pilot. I think it's good. I don't think it should be her. I think it should be me, but that's just me being biased. If you do not have a pilot already in your Pursuer that is maxed out, it was something that I would definitely invest in. Overall, you're going to gain about 2 seconds more in your ability. 2 seconds is a lot, especially in Champion League play, and it can definitely help you a lot. But is it worth the overall investment to get a pilot from 0 to max? I don't think so. All right, for the 2 seconds, I don't think it's worth the amount of gold that I would have to invest in it. If I didn't have a pilot, then yeah, I would definitely be targeting that one. But I don't think it's something that I'm going to target and go after. I think I can use my gold and my resources in a much better area.
Right. I used to love running my Pursuer. I mean, I admit it's been far too long since I've actually run it, but I mean, 2 additional seconds in ability. That's your speed and your stealth. So
right.
I mean, yeah, I think it's good.
That's a good advantage. It really is.
But it's not 20,000 gold good to start over if you already, like you said, if you already have a pilot that's got a lot invested into it.
Now, if I was in that pilot, Chief, and I was having a hard time competing with the current meta with it, then it may be something I consider, especially with the amount of out Junes that are in the game right now. Those 2 extra seconds would be incredibly helpful. Okay, but I'm not having a problem. I still run my Pursuer. I'm still very effective with it. So there's really no reason for me to target that new pilot. And then, God forbid they were to nerf the Pursuer after that, I would just flip out. I would flip, man. Somebody would have to check me into a hospital somewhere because I would lose it.
A couple other comments or questions here that I see before they scroll past. Johnny Rico says there needs to be a point system for the guys in lower levels to obtain the prize in the operations pass. I agree with you 100%, but that also, in my opinion, needs to go over to the events once again. And I know we're not quite on the Christmas event yet, but once we start talking about it, that's my biggest feedback to Pixonic. Every time we have an event, they need to scale it back for the folks in lower leagues. In Champion League, in an hour, I can grind and get 20,000 honor, no problem, in an hour in Champion League. But my gold account, I can grind all day long, come in first and wins, and I still won't hit 20,000 honor points. So that's kind of a major issue, and I do see how that kind of carries over to the operation, because the OXP is based on honor points. So
Yeah, I agree with you. They needed. I would like to see them do something, but I think that would somewhat maybe encourage people to tank just even more than they are. If they could go down to the lower leagues, obtain these prizes with ease, with maxed out hangers, taking on pilots that are in gold and silver. I'm not sure how they would work all that, but I think you would see a lot more tanking if that was occurring. Great Sniper with $20. Hey, thanks for the 20 bones, Great Sniper. Appreciate the donation to the channel.
yeah, Green. I'll get to that one in a second. No, I agree with the tanking issue. That's something, but realistically, since they never fixed or adjusted the battle crates, I mean, people that are likely to tank already tanked. So
True that. True
you know,
that.
don't need to worry too
That is
much,
very true.
about that. Another question or comment, or was it? Sorry. Oh, without premium, do you think it is possible to grind all the way up on the battle pass if you do not have premium? And I think that was Gentle PR that asked that. I think it's possible, but it is going to take you a lot more grinding than somebody that has premium. But I think it's definitely possible. But you'd be looking at probably playing a minimum of 2 to 3 hours a day in order to completely finish the operation.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. It is doable. You can do it without the premium. Okay, but it is going to take you quite a bit longer. You're not going to go through it as fast.
Right. And now, Green Sniper, thanks again for the donation. He said that if there was a way to change the game back to what it was way back then, he says that he would go back to when he first started playing, which was in 2016. There was no point before the dash bots where the game was fair. He really wishes that he could go back. That was actually quite a while before I started playing. I didn't actually start playing until I think the summer of 2018. So all of that was already there. But I know a lot of people in my clan, and a lot of people that I know have been playing much longer, and they all say basically the same thing. It was way better when it first started. Although I do hear horror stories about Gepards and Magnums and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, every era has had its moments. Early on there was still clubbing then, like there is now. People used to run 5 rhinos, 4 rhinos, like the way you see them running 5 leeches right now, and just coming across the field and just stomping everything that was using less than meta at that time. So yeah, Greeny, it was a fun time, okay, but I've gone back and I've played the older bots, and compared to what we have right now, the game would be so very slow. It's a lot slower pace than what we're used to at this point. I don't think I would want to go back. I think we need progress in a game, no matter what game you're playing. You'd want to, move on. Okay, you want to adapt at some point to new things. What I would do, or what I would change about the game, if anything, it wouldn't be the time frame or the type of bots we're playing. I would just completely have not introduced MK2 pilots or boosters, okay, to where we're all running maximum potential of MK112, okay, and it is what it is. You get out there and you battle it out, and you have what you have, just like we used to. But I would like to keep the same speed and type of bots that we have right now. Even the abilities are okay. All right, we can deal with them. But all the power that they sell in the game is what kind of throws the game out of balance.
right. I've seen a couple of people ask this already. I think Fuzzy Pants and Turbo Knight. They're asking if you get basically credit for healing Titans. And As far as honor points goes, I do believe it is being credited there as far as durability healed, or your overall damage. The healing part of it is being counted towards the honor points. But as far as getting silver for it, I can pretty much tell you no, you're not getting silver for anything having to do with Titans right now.
Yeah, the only way to do that would be actually go out and test it. You could run a custom match and have one of your buddies shoot the Titan, and you run up behind it and heal it, and then end the match and see what type of damage you got for that healing. And then you'll know exactly where you stand.
See, Clever Pants was asking if he should get the Arthur. I'm going to assume that you've had a chance to test out or at least play around with all of the Titans, Eddie. I've made a video for each one of the Titans so far that are maxed out using different weapons. I'm going to be putting out some more. I'm just going to wait until whatever this buff or change is that's going to come out sometime over the next week or so. But would I recommend the Titan or the Arthur as a Titan? In my opinion, so far, I think the Arthur is probably the strongest Titan right now. That's my opinion. And that is considering a lot of different things. But overall, like I said, I think it is the strongest, and that's due strictly to its survivability. It doesn't have quite the same firepower as the Ao Ming, but its survival is much better. So...
Yeah, and I put this out in my last video. Actually, I put this out in several videos. This is only my recommendation. Nobody has to follow it. You can go with your instinct. Grab any one of the three Titans that you think are going to be best suited for your style of gameplay. But they did say in the dev stream that they are going to be bringing in new Titans to the game. And they are going to be bringing in some new style of weapons. What kind of Titans, we don't know. We really don't. Okay? But what type of weapons? Take a pick. Could be Scourges, could be Redeemer style weapons, could be more kinetics, more rockets. There's a lot of different things that they can bring in. We have a lot of different, they can bring in Zeus style weapons. They can bring in anything they want. This is only the first phase of Titans that we've gotten. All right, I'm sitting back, I'm waiting. I'm going to hoard as much platinum as I can. I'm going to see what the second generation of Titans has to bring to the table. Okay, and at that point in time, I should have enough platinum or a big chunk of platinum that I can acquire whatever it is that I would want to acquire. So I'm going to sit back and wait, because any mistake made with platinum is going to be a very significant and costly mistake. All right, it will take you a while to recover those resources, unless you just plan to purchase it. Then you can recover pretty quick, but it's going to cost you a big chunk of change. My best recommendation is to sit back, chill, wait, and let's see what transpires over the next few months. All right, unless you really need a Titan in the game to curve the battle, because right now they're not curving anything, guys. They're really not. They're not game changing as the way that they said they were going to be. So if you can, sit back and wait. If you have to have one of the three, I would suggest the Ao Ming over the Arthur, simply because of the firepower.
Green Sniper. In other news, his fiance is going to kill him when she finds out that he donated $30 and didn't use the money for food. Well, you better stop then.
Yeah, Greedy. Hey, Greedy. You know, I know how to get in touch with her. I'm going to send all these screenshots over to your fiance. You're in trouble, boy.
All right. So, talking about the dev stream. I can kind of switch gears a little bit. Man, they dropped some big bombs on that, didn't they?
Yeah.
I mean, first and foremost, we weren't fully expecting the operation, but they were like, oh, by the way, here's the operation. It's live. Usually, they tell at least the YouTubers ahead. They like to release a little teaser video or whatever ahead of time, but they didn't do any of that this time. It was just, it's there. So that was a huge surprise. But I mean, They also mentioned two other things that are going to be happening within, they said the next week, or they said next week, which I guess would be later this week. Um, Buffing the cryo weapons, and we could kind of talk briefly about that.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
some
Go
kind
ahead. Go
of
ahead.
overhaul for Titans. They didn't specify what they're doing to the Titans, though. So
Well, the Titans are going to get a tweak or a buff of some kind. All right. We don't know what it is yet, but they're going to get something here to help them out a little bit. Maybe a little bit more speed. I really don't know. I mean, they are just so slow as compared to everything else going on in the game. So yeah, they're going to tweak them a little bit. Of course, they do need to tweak the fact that there is no payout for them. The cryo weapons will also be getting a tweak. I think the cryo weapons are pretty balanced where they are right now. You know, they're not a pushover weapon, nor are they an overpowered weapon. I think they're balanced where they are, but they're going to give them a little bit more, Chief.
yeah, personally, I think I'm okay with the cryo weapons getting a little bit more of a buff. I mean, they're supposed to be the newest weapon, but I think their weakness comes to just the fact that they're rockets. Rockets over the last year have kind of sucked, and that's based on the game. That's based on the mechanics of where the game is going. Your phase shifts, your last stands, the resistance. So I think that's really where the problem lied with the cryo weapons. Not so much, the amount of damage output that they could do. But, we'll see what they do. Maybe they're going to increase the reload speed. I think that would probably be pretty useful.
Load it up a little bit faster.
Yeah. Because,
yeah, I could see that.
I mean,
I could see them doing something like that.
Honestly, the main reason I shy away from them is because I like to get in brawl, face to face. And, if you get into an extended engagement and you have any kind of rocket weapon, you're dead. There's nothing you can do. I mean, shooting one rocket a second is not going to help you. So it would be kind of nice to see, maybe a little bit quicker reload, but I would like to see that happen with all the rockets in the game. Make rockets useful again. But I don't imagine they're going to be going through and buffing the older rockets.
Yeah. No, the Organs have had their day. They may come back and give it some type of buff later on, kind of like what they did with the shock trains. But I wouldn't count on any of that in the very near future. I really, really wouldn't.
Right. And as far as the Titan changes, I honestly think what they're going to do is they're going to really boost them up. I don't know if they're going to give them a bunch of resistance but they got to do something to make them survive even at low levels, because that is such a big investment for people to make. Not even considering the fact that you're not getting any silver or anything for using
resources for it.
But I mean, they were supposed to be game changing, and right now the only thing that's game changing about them is the silver payout. So
yeah, that's true.
I mean,
but they created the biggest headache in the game with that non-silver payout.
But I think though that silver payout fix should be their priority. Honestly, it didn't sound, on the dev stream anyway, when they addressed the silver and the silver bug with the Titans, it didn't sound like it was really their biggest priority. They were like, "Yeah, we know about it. Yeah, we're working on it." And then that was it. So. I don't know. I personally would like to see that fixed before they, go and buff them up, because even if they make them, last longer or more effective and more game changing, if you're not getting silver or anything for your time and effort with them, then people still aren't going to want to use them.
That's true. You gotta get something back for it. All right. I mean, we have this bot that's worth over $1,000 if you max it out with cash, but yet it does you no benefit in the game. So what is the urgency in attempting to acquire one? Zero.
Right. And I know I'm not working too hard on my Titan. I haven't done anything with my
Yeah.
Titan other than
I
get
was
rid of that
thinking about mine.
stupid circle.
Yeah, he's still sitting there at level 1. That circle is going to go away, Chief. Yeah, it goes away after a little while. Mine was there for quite a bit, but it probably just went away on its own.
No, mine went away once I did the little upgrade one thing, and then, so I upgraded my core of the Titan and got the free platinum, and then upgraded a weapon once and got the free platinum, and it finally went away. But I guess if they can't convince you to use it based on how good they are, they're going to annoy the hell out of you until you actually do something with them.
That's funny. Now they did say, all right, they did say that they were going to be potentially adding a module slot for it. Okay.
Oh,
and I would assume that's going to be an active module.
Well,
I'm guessing.
No, they didn't say anything about active modules. They said that they are definitely going to be adding, or activating rather, the passive modules, because they have passive modules on them already.
Right.
They're just, and they do have a level associated with them. All of them are level 1, which is kind of, I think I mentioned in a previous podcast that, I do think they are going to activate them or something in the future to make them levelable. And if they do that, then obviously they're going to be selling some kind of probably premium version. And they did, and they did say that they are planning on doing that. They definitely are going to be sometime in the future activating modules for us to upgrade and switch out so that we can, as they say, customize our Titans. Yeah, I think though they are still going to be platinum based. I think everything with the Titans is going to be platinum based, so it's going to be one more expenditure people are going to be looking at with the Titans. So as far as when they're going to do it, I don't know, but sometime in the future. Could be next week, it could be 6 months from now, who knows.
Right. Exactly. What else we got going on? Those of y'all that know, okay, real quick, the Phantom and the Behemoth are in the workshop now, guys. So those of y'all that don't have them and we're looking to get them, you can actually go now, or you have components and you're just looking to finish it off. The Phantom Behemoth are now in the workshop, so y'all can go there and build whatever you need to build for those 2 bots.
And what else did they drop? The new robots. Actually, they're on test server right now. 3 new robots. They're looking to, they say, release them the beginning of the year. So January sometime, I'm assuming.
Yep.
And that is the Cerberus, Ravana, and Nightingale. The Cerberus is what they call the damage dealer. It's the community robot that everybody helped to design or gave feedback in order to get designed. And on test server right now, it has 1 heavy weapon, 2 medium, with a built-in weapon that does corrosion, lockdown, and suppression.
Yeah, pretty neat little deal.
The Ravana is kind of their tanky brawler, is what they explained it as. It currently has 3 medium weapon slots. One other thing with the Cerberus, on the test server, it does only have 2 passive module slots, so something to keep in mind. The Ravana, on the other hand, it has 3 passive module slots, and its ability is called Roar, and it's kind of like a dash bot, but instead of dashing, it just runs really fast, like 150% speed, for 2 seconds. It goes into stealth. No, it's not stealth. The animation looks just like phase shift. It becomes invincible.
Yeah, phase shift. Yeah, kind of like a phase shift. You're right, because it can take no damage, but you cannot fire those weapons at all either.
Right, which I think is a good move on their part. Hopefully that's a learning experience they learned from the Pantheons. So you're invincible for 2 seconds. You run really fast. They did say in the dev stream that it's supposed to have 3 charges. On the test server, though, it only has 2 charges. So I don't know if that was an oversight, but I'll let you know what I thought of playing each one. I did get on there and test them. And then the third robot is the Nightingale, and that is a support robot. It has 2 medium, 1 light, weapon slot. It has 3 passive module slots, and it also has a built-in weapon that suppresses when you use the ability, and you fly up and you go into stealth. You move kind of fast, and you heal, kind of like the tier. You have a big circle around you. Interesting. I mean, but I think they have a lot of stuff going on with that robot. So,
Yeah, I did play the test server. The Cerberus, that is the name that you chose as well on the name on the community, didn't you?
yeah, I did.
Yeah, I think we both threw out the same name at different times. But yeah, I was glad to see it got the vote from the community. Those of you that voted for it out there, thanks a lot, guys. That was awesome. But getting back to the bots themselves, I did play the test server pretty extensively this weekend. I really wanted to test them all out. The Cerberus, at first, I was not impressed with it, but the more I played it and learned how to play it, it was actually kind of fun. Okay. My favorite of the 3 would be the Ravana, or with that little sprint and being able to get in and out of situations with certain weapon styles was really effective with the Marquez weapons. It really, I mean, I just really enjoyed it. Did a lot of gameplay with that one. The Nightingale of the 3 would be my least favorite, but I did see it being effective once we kind of learned how to use it. And you know, I was kind of going up, was waiting. Since you can go and scan the field really good from up there, I was waiting for guys that were just about, or reds that were just about to get into an encounter with the blue, and right before the fight would commence, I would shoot a suppressant over there and just help my partner out. And I did that over and over again. All right, that's where it's going to be a real pain in the butt. You're about to get into an engagement with a red, okay, and all of a sudden a red shoots a suppressant at you, and you're suppressed right before the encounter. That was frustrating, and it was also fun. I'll be straight on it. So they're all going to have their key points, and it'll change the meta a little bit coming in, but it's not going to be anything like a leech, or nothing is going to be game changing where you're going to see people running 5 Nightingales or 5 of any of these bots. I think it's a good mix up, and so far I like it, and I hope it kind of stays where it's at right now. I hope they don't make any one of these 3 OP.
I agree. I didn't feel any of them were OP. Actually, I felt the Cerberus surprised me the most with being actually weaker than I thought it would be. When they first were mentioning, what all it's going to be able to do. It's going to have this built-in weapon. It does all 3 of these things. I was kind of expecting, okay, well, this thing's going to be crazy. Oh yeah, the Cerberus also, by the way, has an Aegis shield that regenerates kind of like the Heishi's built-in shield.
Right.
But the Cerberus reminded me of playing a Blitz, but without the speed factor of a Blitz. But there was a learning curve. Definitely, I think with all 3 of these robots, there's a very steep learning curve because they do so much. So it's going to be difficult for a lot of players to kind of get used to a robot that has or is doing multiple things. That we're used to robots only being able to do one thing at a time. But the Cerberus was actually kind of fun once I got the hang of it. The Ravana, I really enjoyed that one the most.
As did I.
Though I played it completely opposite from you. I saw your video. You were hanging back, more of a long range, and it definitely was effective in that way. You used the ability more to get yourself out of trouble, whereas I played it more of a in-your-face, brawler. Use the ability to save myself, to break lockdown, to get rid of suppression, to get closer to an enemy and just smack them with coronas. For me, that was a lot of fun. Maybe a little bit more health would be nice on it, but otherwise I enjoyed it. And then the Nightingale, I think that was the one I struggled with the most. It like sets back like so much farther on your screen, so it's kind of difficult to navigate at first. But like you said, once you kind of set your range and you just sit there and you're suppressing people and you're kind of healing your buddy. It was kind of fun, a little bit camperish, but if you can kind of, I guess, for the viewers, if you can kind of imagine a raker, if you've played a raker, just annoying the crap out of other players.
It's really annoying. You know,
it was kind of like
that.
that.
I can't explain it, but it was frustrating. You know, I played a lot of it. Like I said, the test server. I did change out the weapons. I did play some, but I only did that with that one recording. But yeah, I did try out the other weapons. I tried out most of the weapons. I even put the old Orcans on it just to see how they would do. They didn't fare very well. But you know, it was a lot of fun. But that one, the Nightingale is going to be a good, if you have a support player on your team, okay. And what I eventually did was I would just kind of hover over one of the Titans, and I just kind of followed him anywhere he went, and I would heal him mainly, among a few of the other bots. But I was just looking to, and when it pulls back the way it did, it gave you a really broad look of the field. Okay, so you weren't just limited to your 90-degree angle that you have there. Okay, it opened it up pretty good, so you could survey the field as to where you needed to support one of your fellow team players.
Right. Oh, Lone, the $2 donation super chat. Happy birthday to Ryan C. I did see you pop in,
happy
Ryan.
birthday, Ryan.
And definitely happy birthday to you. I did see you had a brief stream this morning. I did check it out. So hopefully you're having a good day and enjoying your birthday. Yeah, I don't know, but I agree with you. None of these are super OP. They all seem relatively balanced, and I don't think they're going to become, you know, the next super meta. They're not going to be the next leech, and honestly, I don't really see any of them taking leeches out of people's hangars either. So, but
it's gonna be fun to suppress the leeches a lot.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, legendary pilots they also talked about, and looking at the operation, you do get 2 legendary pilots in the new operation if you have the paid battle pass. One of them is for a Heishi. That's kind of cool. Gives them a little bit of resistance, I think. And the other one is a camper, like 100%.
Oh yeah, the 800 meter.
Yeah.
Weapon. Yeah, that. If you got somebody that's driving a behemoth with fluxes, they're really gonna enjoy that one for sure, no doubt.
But yeah, not really my thing. But you know, it is there if you wanna. I mean, you wanna go for it.
If that's your style of play, I mean, more power to you. I mean, I guess they're trying to do something to get some of the, because there's not really a lot of people running behemoths right now. Maybe they're just trying to get them give them a little boost to get into the game. I don't know if that's going to be enough to do it, but it's there, and it is the only good thing about that particular pilot is a universal pilot. All right, it's for any long range sniper bot. He's not going to be set to the behemoth or the butch or the fury. You can move him around as you need him.
All right. Keep in mind though, currently there's only like 5 weapons in the game that have 800 plus meters of range, so limited use, but I mean, I don't know, maybe we'll see some people bring back some old long range stuff. Yeah, Trebs or what's the green one? Medium.
Oh, I forgot what that one was.
You see guys, inspectors running it.
It tells you everything.
Yeah, I don't even remember what it's called, but anyway, yeah. Hopefully we don't see too many of those, because man, campers annoy me, and then I have to run across the map and kill them. But yeah, it is a legit play style, and some people really enjoy it, so that's cool. Mixfant Gaming says the Nightingale needs to shoot while flying, but at a 50% reduction.
I don't know about that one, Mix. I'm not sure if I would like to see that bot being able to suppress from the air and shoot in the air while it's cloaked. Now, I mean, keep in mind, Mix, this is only phase 1 of the testing, so they can adjust it any way, shape, or form that they see fit, and they'll go based on the feedback that comes in. If you remember, when the Ares and the Greek bots first came out, you know, they all had a little special ability after the their ability was over. I believe the Ares had like a rush ability.
Yeah.
Once it ended, and then they immediately pulled that out. They might test it out to where you can fire in the air. I see that being a bit of a problem in the current game that we're in, but it's possible. What do you think, Chief?
Well, just the fact that it already has so many things that it's doing at once, like he said, he's like, if you're supporting your team healing, you're a target for anyone with QR. And that's true. But just the fact that you can fly, go into stealth, suppress, and heal all at the same time, I think it might be a little bit too OP if you were allowed to shoot your regular weapons, while doing that as well. And I don't think, suppressing the weapons down to like 50% would really be enough. I think they really want to avoid this robot being a brawler. And the way it is right now, there's no way you're going to brawl with it. I mean, I guess you could try, but it's not going to be an effective brawler at all. I think they want it to be strictly in that support mode. But I don't know. Like Islander said, anything can happen. Things do get changed all the time on test. But I would agree when I was first playing it, I was like, oh, come on, why can't I shoot? Why can't I shoot? It is, but then if I was able to shoot, I would have been up there brawling with it, healing myself in stealth. It would have been kind of a nightmare. So, on the dev stream, back to the dev stream, there was a question where they did ask if there's going to be other ways to get platinum, and they were pretty quick to answer no. I mean, not in such a blunt way, but that's basically what they said.
The way they answered it.
They said that, as far as other ways of getting platinum other than what's in the game right now of paying for it with cash or the 25 on the daily tasks, they said that they are going to collect data. But as of right now, they do not have a plan of another method of it coming in as of right now. So when will they reevaluate that? I'm sure it's going to be continuous. And I think I might have talked to Islander for a minute about it before the stream started. But, I think they're probably going to see how much people are willing to spend without having it readily accessible in other ways. And if it hits a big wall where they're not really earning anything off of it, then they will start finding ways to put it into the game. It's
right. Yeah, right now it's the early stages of the Titans, and they're going to try to collect as much currency as they can. They're going to try to earn as much money as they can off of the Titans before they start making it more readily available. And this is the trend that we have followed from Pixonic from day one on just about everything, okay? Although they're not giving away Titans like they do in dev streams and stuff like that with the other bots, okay, but they generally try to milk it for as much as they possibly can before they release it start adding it out to other places where you can acquire it. At some point, I would like to see if we could build Titans inside of the workshop. I think that would be kind of cool. Because in one of the last videos they had, he said, my boy Hank over there said, I have the specs for this bot. I'm going to shoot it over to your people. They can build it for you right away. That kind of led me to think, all right, just a little slight Easter egg that maybe we may be able to build it in the workshop at some point.
But then again, that could have just been lore on their side of how all of a sudden we magically managed to get a free Titan. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, there's so many different angles you could view it from.
Michael Thompson brought up a good point, and this was on the test server. Why are they testing Titans at level 8 of 150 on the test server? That's not entirely accurate. Titans are on the test server, which I imagine they're always going to be on the test server now since they're live. but the ones on the test server you can upgrade. But I'll tell you that it is not 150 levels, and I don't even think it was 8 levels. Each area you could only level up 5 times. So on the robot, the 3 different, you have the the core, the engine, and the hull. Each one you could only level up 5 times before it said maxed. Now, I don't know if that is one of the changes that they are planning on doing to the Titans, and they're just kind of testing it on the test server, because it didn't make any sense to me why they would, one, allow you to actually upgrade them on the test server if it wasn't part of an actual test, because you can't upgrade anything else on the test server. And then you also could not upgrade the Titan weapons. So I think maybe there's a possibility that one of the changes in the future to the Titans is going to be fewer levels. Maybe. Or something having to do with how they are upgraded. I don't know.
Yeah, because right now, that's a lot. I mean, at 50 levels each, that's a lot of levels. That's right. A whole lot of levels.
Ballista, yeah, thanks Ed and Turbo. I couldn't remember the name of that damn weapon.
Isn't the Ballista the light one, though?
No, it's Ballista is the heavy. The light one is, I don't even think I have any. There's like some weapons that I vowed on day one I'll never, ever buy, or if I won one, I would sell them. But no, that Ballista is the green one.
Okay.
Medium. Let's see. Oh, they talked maps.
Yeah, they did talk maps, and we should be getting factory probably here at the start of 2020. I'm guessing. We're probably going to test that out one more time once they add all the pixels graphics into it and make it nice and pretty. But they did say that 2020 they would be bringing in new maps. Maps is something that we've been asking for quite a while. So kind of happy that they're going to explore that area and expand the game a little bit more as far as map wise.
Right. And criminal gaming coming through on the clutch there. Arbalest was the light version.
There you go. Good job, Criminal. That's why we have you here, brother.
But yeah, as far as maps, they did say that factory is definitely on the way, and they did specifically say that it will not be the only new map we get next year. They also flat out said cross-platform is coming in 2020.
Yes, sir. It's going to come this year. Looking forward to that. Really happy to see that. I think it's going to add a nice twist to the game for Android and iOS. Those of y'all that are in Steam and Facebook and Amazon or whatever y'all are on, you guys are still on the outside looking in. Apologies to you boys, but right now it's only going to be the Android, iOS that are going to merge. Those are the 2 bigger platforms that they have, and I think it's going to be a big plus for the game. I really do.
And I agree. I think it's going to solve a lot of the complaints and issues that people have, especially with matchmaking. Is it going to fix matchmaking? It probably won't fix it. There's still probably going to be issues. There's always going to be issues with matchmaking. But just having such a large pool of players to pick from is going to mean that, if you're out there running duos or solos, you are going to run into fewer squads. So there's going to be more squads running, which are going to hopefully match up against each other more frequently than they do now.
It's really going to help out a lot to have, the additional, I don't know what, 4, 5, 10, 20, whatever million players on at any given time. It should pair up players. We have tested the matchmaking in the past, and we would drop. I believe we discussed this once before, but we would drop all of us time drop in the clan, and almost religiously we would match up against each other. So if we were dropping 8 guys, at least 6 out of those 8 would drop into the match. So the matchmaking is there, okay, but it all depends on who's online at that particular time, and it's not gonna try to drag it out over a minute. that should be your longest wait time. But the wait times are definitely getting longer, which I can only assume the matchmaking is trying to squeeze out what it can as far as pairing. Now, we haven't heard any official word from them yet. We're waiting on it, but that's just kind of what I'm gathering, since we have tested it in the past, and it did work when we tested it.
Right. And yeah, I mean, I do notice when they are kind of making little adjustments to Matchmaker, so I know it is something that they work on, but and it is still, at least as it is right now on iOS, it is so far from being right that I know there's more they can do. But adding a bigger player pool is definitely going to help with it. And Mixfant saying that his concern, and I did watch a video that he put out the other day. I don't know if you've seen it, Eddie. He's kind of more of like kind of a rant video of some of the issues that he's found with the game recently. And for those of you in chat that aren't familiar, Mixfant has a YouTube channel, a smaller one, but he puts out some pretty good videos. So definitely stop by and check him out. But he had some very legitimate concerns that he was voicing. I agree with most of his concerns, and he's saying now that one of the concerns he has for combining the platforms is it going to increase the lag. And here is the only way I can personally respond to that, because that lag is always an issue or a concern for people. And I do believe that you specifically said in your video that you've worked on, some kind of tech stuff. So you're more familiar, at least, than I am. But the reason I don't think it is going to increase the lag is mainly because they have to update all of their code in order to do cross-platform. So I think most of what causes the lag right now is old code. This game 5 years ago was on probably not the top, newest coding of the time. It was probably some older crap that, is, and half of that is still there in the game right now, which is probably causing half of the lag issues that people experience.
Yeah, the lag deal. Lag is never going to go away, guys. Lag is always going to be a part of the game. It's going to be part of most games. If you're in the United States and you jump over to an Asian server, you're going to have some ping. Okay, you're going to have some lag there. It's a pretty far away server, but I've done some things to my device to reduce the lag, and that was on my old tablet. Now with my new tablet, okay, there is still lag, and that's where I learned the big difference between the different types of lags that we have. Okay, you have your device lag, which is mainly what I had on my last tablet. Okay, you have the server lag, which is where you're fighting against a bot, and 2 seconds later or a second later, he's behind you. Okay, that's the lag from the game. The choppiness that you see on your screen could very well be your device. Okay. And then, of course, you have your Wi-Fi. So there's a lot of factors to go into the whole lag thing. It's not all of Pixonic servers, and it's not all of our devices, okay? Some people are running computers, and they can't stop complaining about lag, and they got high-tech equipment that they're working with. And I hear this more frequently from my clan members that do run computers. So there's a lot of different factors to go into it, but as Chief said, that coding is going to get a brand new overhaul. It's going to get a fresh, clean slate, and it should be much improved. That's not to say that we're not going to have bugs once they do all that coding. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, a lot that goes behind the scenes that we don't see. We get the end product, and then we give our feedback on that end product, which is generally some good ranting and raving about how bad something's not working right. So take that with a grain of salt, but there's a lot of factors that go into our lag play.
Right. And I think you hit the nail on the head that there's just so many factors. I know for me personally, I used to do most of my ward robots using an old iPad Air 2. It's like a 5-year-old iPad, and it actually played well. But I would experience a little bit of lag here and there, especially because I also do all of my YouTube stuff on there. All my video editing, recording, everything I do on my iPad. When I upgraded to the iPad Pro, man, night and day difference. A
Uh-huh.
lot of things that I thought was, the game server lag was actually on my device. But you're right. It could be your device. It could be, even another app that's on your device. It could be, you just have some crappy Wi-Fi at the moment, or your 5G might not be so good where you're at. There's just so many different things that actually introduce lag. But as long as they are refreshing all the coding, which they're gonna have to do in order to make cross-platform work, I think that's gonna at least take that out of the equation. So overall, I think it's gonna be better for most people.
Yeah, and if you see my videos from before and look at the videos I'm putting out now, you can definitely see the difference in the video quality from using the Galaxy Tab Pro, which is my old one, and using that new Galaxy Tab S6 that has the little Snapdragon processor and 8 gigs of RAM. It's night and day. It really is.
Turbo Knight had a good question, and I mean, obviously, I can't answer this with 100% certainty because, well, it hasn't happened yet. But he asked if they merge the platforms, if you have an Android, but then you get, like, say, a new phone and it's an iPhone, could you then transfer your progress over? And I am gonna assume that yes, you will be able to. Once we're cross-platform, it should base your progress on your login rather than your device. So
Yes, let me cover this just a little bit because I have this. Of course, those of y'all that know me know I still play Clash of Clans here and there. And in their settings, they have this option which is called link a device. Okay, so you go in and you link a certain device to that account. And so if you're on Android and now you have an iOS phone, you should be able to link that over to where you'll be able to use it on both devices if it works the same way.
And one thing that I would like to see them build into this, though, is also the ability to migrate an account. So for those people that are playing on PC still, that may not be merged in with the rest of us, I would like to see them have a service to where you could just migrate your account from PC over to mobile side. I think it would make a lot of sense to do that. And it shouldn't be that hard. I mean, I know for a fact that they have the ability to literally log onto a computer, create an account, and load a specific level of gear, and whatever gear, and so much, gold or silver, whatever, they can specify what all goes onto an account. I know that they can do that for a fact, so there is nothing stopping them from allowing this as a service to the players, other than maybe manpower. It would be somewhat, manpower intensive, but I think if they are taking care of the community, I think that would be a good thing to offer. And what else? I think that was pretty much all they talked about on the dev stream.
Let me check my notes real quick.
Well, other than in Russia, apparently, they are more into celebrating New Year than Christmas, even though they do celebrate Christmas.
Yeah, they're bigger on the New Year's. Yeah, I think that we pretty much covered everything as far as what went down on the dev stream, things that have been brought into the game as far as the pilots, the test server going on. We covered the workshop, and of course the real quick, guys, in the comment section, what have y'all pulled out of the special deliveries? Has anybody scored anything good? I did score the candy cane right off the bat, and I haven't scored anything since that. But what have y'all gotten? Go ahead and shoot out what you've gotten as far as prizes. If you got in gold and power cells, y'all can keep that to yourself. But as far as, have you won any decent prizes yet?
Well, I can tell you what I won.
What'd you get?
Well, first of all, let me preface this by saying that the Halloween event I wasn't interested in, so I didn't spend anything on it. I didn't really get much out of it either. And then this event, that's something we haven't really talked much about, is the Christmas event. But anyway, yeah, for the Christmas event, I'm not so interested in most of the prizes, to be honest with you. I have most of those weapons, which I think was cool in a way that they brought a lot of these previous limited edition weapons back to give people another opportunity, you know, like the Freedom Hussar. You know, I only have 3 of them, and I sure would like to have 4 in case I decide to toss it on a leech or something. I don't know, to match. You know, it would be kind of cool. You know, so that part is cool, but then again, I kind of have bad memories of all of the dragon blazes that I have just rotting in my account because I had like 12 of them, and I really don't want any more. But you know, so I don't know. I'm torn on that, but anyway, you know, I'm not overly interested in most of the prizes again on this one. So I probably am not going to drop, you know, a couple $100 on coins. But I did run, you know, run some coins through today for what I had collected so far, and I got phantom components and power cells. That's it.
Bummer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I pulled that candy cane on my second first or second flip. Actually, I let my nephew open them up. I normally do a little recording with him, but I said, it's only 2. You know what? I let him open up my special deliveries, and I let him open up my gold chest, and he did pretty good. I mean, he scored some good stuff out of there for us. But I understand what you're saying as far as the weapons, because it's nowhere close to being random. I mean, on the first event I saw where you pull all of those Avengers, okay, and then I'm not sure what you got on the second one, but on the first one I pulled nothing but Coronas. I think I had like 7 or 8 of the Coronas, and then the last one was all Sinister Glaciers. You know, I got very little of the other stuff, so it just seemed to be repeatedly giving me the same thing. But then again, I was resetting my data, you know, after every few flips. I'm not sure that had anything to do with it, but it did kind of fall into place while I kept getting the same prize over and over again.
I do think resetting or clearing your cache or resetting your data does actually help a little bit, but I mean, and I know that there's people that are like, oh well, nothing is random, it's all part of the gotcha. And yes, in the big scheme of things, you're absolutely right. It is all part of their gotcha program. It is not random. However, on the individual person level, it is random. You're either going to get a nice prize or you're going to get crap. It's random which one you're going to get. So that nice prize, you know, each one is in a different tier, considered nice, you know, for them. They put everything in the game in different tiers and levels, and they rate them different ways. And the prizes are no different. So, you know, they might, you know, consider that Avenger a top tier. So, you know, you could end up with that Avenger or that Cryo if they're both top tier. It's completely random which one you're going to end up with. But yeah, on the gotcha level, the overall level, then yeah, it isn't random. They probably have a percentage in there. They say, okay, 95% of people's rolls are going to be power cells. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, so let me see. A couple people said what they got. I don't know if I'm going to say this name right or not. Ritwik Ranjan. You got a Sinister Cryo, so not too bad, especially with them getting a buff. Turbo Knight got just power cells, so right there with you. Of course, I'd rather get power cells than components, so not going to complain too much for that. Johnny Rico got 1,000 leech comps that he sold, and looks like it's all people told us about. So. And Michael Thompson says components should not be in the special delivery. I kind of agree, especially with the Phantom and the Leech. They've been in the last 3 events now, I want to say. At least the last 2 events, not including this one. So yeah, they are kind of starting to overdo it just a little bit as far as those components. But you know, some people were only 1,000 or 1,500 away from finishing a leech, so I could also understand.
Yeah, if you're 500 or 1,000 away from finishing a leech, You're gonna be pretty happy that they added the components. They did pull the Leech and the Phantom out of this particular event, which kind of caught me by surprise. Another thing I would like to have seen in the event would, of course, would have been some type of, and we talked about it a few times before, some type of modules, passive modules, last stand, battleborns, even the thermonuclears or the heavy armors, stuff like that, anti-controls. I would like to see some of those come into these events. Those are particular items that people could use on any one of their bots in a hangar. So I would hope that they consider at some point adding those passive modules into the events.
Criminal Gaming had a question for you about whether or not you got a free email account set up because he doesn't do Facebook.
You don't have to do Facebook, Criminal Gaming. You can open up just the Messenger account. Okay, you don't have to open up a full Facebook to have Messenger. They're actually separate. So Messenger just kind of works like its own individual deal. So if not, if you have a line account, I also keep in touch with people online. I'm not as active online, but if not there, we can also come over to Discord and we can discuss things there.
DFE01 said he won an Avenger, a Viper, and a Leech skin from the event. But he wants mostly components to finish his Leech and Phantom. So,
there you go.
Oh, that does remind me on my gold free-to-play account, gold level, I won a Leech skin. I don't have a Leech, but I got a skin for one.
you got the red one?
Yeah.
The little Santa Claus outfit?
Yeah. Becky got the Leech skin and Candy Cane Viper. But
nice.
Okay, so for those of you that are still with us, go ahead and start thinking of any questions you might have for us to start wrapping this up. Let me just go ahead and throw that out there while I finish reading the rest of the chat here. But any questions, anything at all with War Robots, go ahead and toss them up there, and we'll try and get to them before we wrap things up. Louis Fong, he got the legendary pilot on his first spin. That's not bad. That's the new Fenrir pilot. Oh, which they did say on the dev stream that they did double the resistance of the Fenrir pilot. So the new Fenrir pilot.
The Santa Claus one?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was 2.5 or 25 points. Now it's 50 points, which is 5% resistance.
Alrighty, Criminal. Yeah, you can try to hit me up there in Discord. Greeny, we'll talk to you later on tonight, brother.
What happened to the special Halos and Phantom? What special? Not familiar. I don't remember a special Phantom. And I don't remember special Halos either. So, they did include most of the newer or the special weapons, but they didn't put any of the special stuff like the Sinister Pulsars. Those are not in the Christmas event. So those were still only limited to the last operation.
Knight, what Phantom are you referring to? What special Halo and Phantom? I don't know which one you're referring to. When did it come out?
Hooligan Danny
got a Freedom Avalanche. Not bad, brother.
600 gold, 1,000 leech, Dragon Blaze, 1,500 Phantom comps, and some power cells. It's not too bad. Johnny Rico got almost 20,000 leech comps from the last 2 events, and he has 3 of them in his hangar already. So I guess he's super excited to be getting the new leech reward for.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Louis Fong, is it worth it to level up this legendary pilot Nicholas? Is that a bot that is one of your primary bots in your hangar, and will you be using it religiously? That is the whole key point when you start upgrading a special, a legendary pilot, okay, that you're gonna have to be with that bot for a very long time, and that even if the meta changes, you know, you're still gonna still keep that bot in there, kind of like what I did with a Heishi for a very long time, and then now, of course, the pursuer, where you know the meta's changing, but I'm still finding ways to keep my pursuer in there and keep it active. I would not. I don't think I would upgrade. I would have to just wait and play it out. But as of right now, I'm not on track to upgrade any legendary pilots, not even the one for the pursuer. You know, you got to ask yourself the question: is it worth it to you? You know, are the skills that it's going to bring? Do you think they're going to benefit you? And if the answer is no, then no, it's not worth it.
Michael is asking, do you think the legendary pilot for the Falcon should go back to 50%? You know, I would personally be okay with it. I mean, even at a 50% boost in damage, I don't think that a T-Falcon is going to be OP, doing too much damage, so do I think it should? I mean, I guess it could. It wouldn't bother me either way. When do you think the leech will get nerfed, and how heavy will it be?
Don't count on it anytime soon. If you recall when the Ares came out and how long of a run it made, was a pretty significant run for the Ares. It was, I think it was close to almost
9
a year.
months.
Or
yeah, it's about
9 months, a year. So yeah, I would say anywhere for between the next 9 months to 12 months. And you know, believe it or not, I mean, I've still seen a lot of Ares out there in gameplay. You know, even with everything that they've done to it, there's still people that are running it pretty effectively. So it's no longer a meta bot, or it is a meta bot, but it's no longer the OP bot. But it is now definitely still competitive. I mean, it still has 2 mediums, 2 lights, and its internal weapon, which does a ridiculous amount of damage. So if you're running it correctly, you're still going to do very, very well. So expect the leech to be around for a pretty long time, anywhere between 9 months to 14 months into the upcoming future.
Oh, Anthony Gertzen mentioned that the Sinister Pulsars are actually available in the gold chest now. Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah, they
I
are.
honestly
I
forgot about that. And along with that, the Ancient Tier was also added to the Super Chest.
Right, but the Ancient Tier did get his clock pretty good with that last fix.
Yeah. Well, personally, I think I would have been okay with leaving it, because the tier, it's still not super OP. It would, but a maxed out tier, even without the shield bug, is actually something you got to pay attention to. It's not a weak robot by any means.
No, it's not. It's a competitive bot. Very competitive bot.
But
a lot of people did like it because it was a very effective counter for the leeches in the game.
Right.
Okay. At least a leech running energy weapons. Okay. You had to find a way to flank it. Okay. You had to sneak up on it while he was doing battle by somebody else, and try to get your shots in on him. Okay. Or you could just simply put on some old school Orkins, and you would kick that tier down in no time at all. Okay. It's just, I mean, it was just options that you had to consider when you played it. I did like it, and I would like to have seen the shield have a bigger buff than what it is right now. I mean, I know they removed that infinite solid shield that it had, but I think they should have left it maybe at where 50% of where it was. I mean, where you could eventually crack it, it was just not going to be an easy nut to crack.
Yeah. Johnny Rico was saying that the Phantom and the Halos, they had a vote. They had us vote on something with the Phantom and the Halo. I think I vaguely remember something, but not anything specific. But if it was any kind of community,
I'm zeroed out on that one. I don't have any knowledge on that one.
I mean, they really take a long time with all of these community votes and stuff. I mean, like the community paint jobs. I mean, they just now added 2 of them into the game, and there's 2 more still waiting to come into the game. So, I mean, it is what it is. It's just not really at the top of their priority. But I don't specifically remember what they were doing with that vote, or what it was for, or where it was, but I do kind of remember something. Do you think they should add a medium and heavy teleporting bot? No. Honestly, I don't see a medium or heavy teleporting bot really being needed, or and keep in mind too that they no longer classify robots as light, medium, and heavy. They're all medium now. So, and I think they did that just so that they didn't have to do 3 of every style, of robot. They're trying to get away from those packs of 3. They might still release robots in packs of 3, but they're not all necessarily going to be similar.
Yeah, because the Greek bots were. I mean, there was no large, medium, or small. They're all pretty much the same size.
James Mayer, saw a James Mayer on chat. Odds of his last name, not many with his name. What brawler weapons would you guys upgrade and others may stop? Best guess for buffs and nerfs. Feature of Avenger. I think Avenger's going to be safe for a while.
I think the Avenger is very safe.
What would I?
I mean, it's really the pilot skills to make the Avenger what it is.
What would I upgrade? I don't know. I enjoy the shotguns. I avoid the rockets, but I might have to reevaluate that depending on how these cryo weapons turn out. But really, the thing that you need to work on or concentrate on is one, your play style, what you enjoy doing, and how you enjoy playing. If you enjoy hanging out, hanging back, camping a little bit more, or being more of a support role, then you obviously want things with a longer range. But if you like in-your-face brawling, you want things like probably shotguns or other weapons that are within that 300-meter range. Phantom with cryo or Corona Halo?
Corona Halo.
That's what I run on mine. I have seen some very effective cryo weapons being run on the Phantom, but once again, if you get trapped and you have to be in an extended engagement, the way the mechanics work now, you're probably going to end up losing. But Phantom is a good robot to run cryos on because it does have that fast, quick, get out of dodge feature. Same thing with the Ao Jun. I think that's why the Ao Jun is very effective with the cryo weapons on it, because you can fly in real fast, dump them, and fly out. But any robot that you might get stuck in an extended engagement, as of right now anyway, they're probably not the best idea. Will Nightingale replace the tier? I don't think so. I think that the tier is still very much brawling capable healer. The at least from my testing, the Nightingale is more of a strictly hang back and provide support.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to replace the tier at all. It's going to be a bot that will be used as support. The tier is definitely a healing brawler. So he's going to go into the fight with his guys. He's going to trade punches, and he's going to heal everybody while he's there at the fight. The Nightingale is going to sit back, heal whatever he can, but he's mainly going to be trying to suppress people for his upfront fighters.
Advanced Rays was asking when he gets his Ares, should he go for the Scourge and Spark or the Brawling setup? Personally, I would not use an Ares for Brawling anymore, just because there's too many ways to get into an Ares shield, and that's not even considering the shield breaker. So I think the Ares can still be fairly effective when you keep it at that mid to long range. So I would definitely go with Scourge Spark on that one.
Yeah, I do like the Scourge Spark, although I do like the Coronas and the Halo as well. But the Scourge Spark is good from range, but if somebody does creep up on you, they gain their strength as your competitors coming towards you. So the Scourge is definitely one of my favorite weapons in the game right now. Scourge Spark is an awesome combination.
Should Pixonic focus more on quality of life updates and slow down on the release of new content?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I think so.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest, okay, and let's compare this to another another game that came out, which is Battle Titans. Never got an upgrade, never did anything, kind of just stayed in the limelight. They were going to try to stick with old meta, and it completely phased it out right away. I mean, we're human. We are creatures of change, all right? We adapt quickly to new things, although we like our older things just as much. But nobody cannot argue the fact that Pixonic does not keep this game fresh. This game is as fresh as any game it has been. Constantly getting upgrades, changes, updates all the time. So many different things are going back and forth. My thing is it's happening too fast, all right? We're not giving them really a chance to enjoy what we have before we get slammed with the next round of bots and weapons and stuff like that. Yeah, it needs to slow down. Not a little bit. It needs to slow down a lot. I mean, they said they were going to release new bots and weapons every 3 months. I think they need to push that back to 6 months.
Criminal Gaming says that he enjoys playing the Raker, but his score suffers every time. Raker is actually a fun robot, and if played well, it can be a real pain in the ass, but it doesn't matter if your score suffers. I mean, if you enjoy playing the robot, play it. Who cares?
Yeah.
Try to have a little bit of fun.
It's all about the fun.
All right. Well, I think I'm gonna probably look at wrapping it up. You got anything else you want to add there, Islander?
I think we covered just about everything we could cover, and I think we answered just about every question we could have. If we missed any of your questions, guys, we do apologize. We try to get to them all.
But yeah, I mean, there was a lot to go over. But I think we had also quite a few questions and whatnot in there to rank the top 10 bots. I was thinking about doing some ranking videos coming up, but probably around the beginning of the year. But yeah, I think that's probably going to wrap it up. Just real quick, thanks to is it Green Sniper and Lone Spanker for the donations during the stream. And thank you once again for joining me, Eddie. Always a good time to discuss things.
Always a pleasure, Chief. Always a pleasure.
Thank you to everybody that stuck around and was watching. It's always good to get questions from you or hear your point of view, or sometimes you just remind us of things that we forgot about, like the name of weapons. But it's always a good time on this stream. I think this is probably one of my favorite streams to do. But that is going to be it for the stream, everybody. Look at some new content probably coming out from me over the next week. I'm sure Eddie's going to have his several videos out that he puts out. There's just so much going on right now. I think it's going to be tough for all the YouTubers to kind of keep up with everything, but most of us are going to do our best on that. But until the next video or stream, guys, that's going to do it for me. So, Chief out.